welcome to my channel and another update on the Fiat 500 Pop 2010. It is back from the body shop. Quite a quick turnaround on this one. I think it was something like four days plus the weekend or something. You can see the sill's been completed or pulled or filled and pulled maybe. The rear quarter has also been smoothed out and not got those sort of rivets in there as well. Bearing in mind as well is that this has also been repainted. So, but we'll come to that. So you can see it looks to be nicely blended in. Obviously, the front of the car is still quite heavily dirty. Then we've got the rear bumper, which was scratched up quite a bit, and the offside quarter panel, which to be fair wasn't actually that bad, but it was just that scratch with the dog, I think, with the claws. But so that's all good. And then yeah, it's just a rather dirty car that now needs to be cleaned. But I'm really happy with all of that work. The entire rear was done for $250 all in, and saves me a job obviously, and generally just finish off the car. So there's no issues now at all with any of the bodywork on this car. Whilst it was in as well, whilst I didn't ask them to do it, I was going to sort it out myself. They've also sorted out the headlights as well. So we've got what looks to be 2 brand new headlights, which is a bonus. And given that I picked it up in the dark actually as well, it was I was quite chuffed that those had been done. The roof we've still not attempted yet. On this, when this video was shot, you can see it's just got lots of residue from the stickers still left over, and so we need to be doing some work to get rid of that residue, which shouldn't really take a huge amount of time. It doesn't require a rubber wheel. That will just hopefully be some glue remover. So we are pretty much on the home straight with this Pop. So to get rid of the glue remover, we need glue remover. G-Technique, I think it is, or G-Technic W7 is what I use. Never had any issues with this before. Smells just a lot like WD-40. And I sprayed it onto the roof, allowed it to sort of sit on the residue so it can try and soak itself in. And then we needed to go about agitating the it's not even sticky, it's just left over from the stickers. What I found was using a microfiber towel, you constantly have to change the where you're using it, because as soon as that sort of residue stuff gets onto the microfiber towel, it almost then becomes useless. So you've got to constantly change the towel to then make sure you get a new part of the towel, and then it works very effectively. And it will, it's not just going to wipe off, unfortunately. It does involve a bit of scrubbing, but you can sort of see from what I'm doing here that eventually you can start to see it peel off, so to speak, with a lot of aggressive rubbing really. And I think that took about half an hour or so to get that all eventually off. Some part of the car was alright, but these front ones just left a lot of residue. But you can see the end result is, compared with what we had at the beginning, which was a checkered roof, this has now come up quite nicely, and I'm quite happy with the result. Bear in mind that when we started this, I was in a t-shirt, with the rubber wheel doing this, but yeah, it's all been done now. It's just takes a long time, but it's one less thing to worry about, put it that way.
So it's just before was it Sunday, so I think we're just under a week before Christmas, and so I've got the 500 back, and as you know, the rear end's been done, but the whole front from the driver's doors haven't, because it's black. It's got various scuffs, scratches, minor scratches, nothing too big. And as you know, black cars, they look a lot better when they're clean, but this needs just more than cleaning. This needs sandpapering, which seems weird, but if you know your stuff, you'll understand. If you don't, sandpapering gets rid of minor scratches, strangely, but if you wet sand, it's fine. So today we are going to have this car cleaned on the outside. That's the plan. I think it's like 6 degrees at the moment, but hopefully when I get going it'll be a bit warmer, and hopefully by the end of this it will look reasonably presentable without any problems at all. So yeah, let me show you what I've got to do, and then we'll get started. Okay, so you're obviously aware that the back's sort of done. That will just need washing to get rid of all the cutting compound and everything that's been left on there. But you can see the driver's door. I don't know if you can from this angle. It's just dirty. We've got scratches here. Obviously scratches tend to always be around the handle. I'm not going to worry about this too much at the moment because of the weather, but it just needs cleaning. So we've got that. Got to do the bonnet, and then on this side you can see they've got a lot of the cutting compound still that needs to be cleaned off. So yeah, that's what we need to do. So without further ado, let's get this done, and then I can get back in the warm. So, having done a quick wash over, I've noticed the bonnet here is quite rough to touch compared with the rest of the panels. It's just really rough to touch. Tiny little mark here, and I think that's generally it. I think there's a bit of glue there from where I was trying to pull this panel out a bit, but it does feel quite rough to touch. So the next step is we're going to iron ore, Iron X, Purple Rain, whatever you want to call it, the panels, and then we're going to wash it off. Just leave that to dwell for a couple of minutes. Black cars generally, it's more difficult to tell, but basically when it got some contamination in the paintwork, it will generally go purple, but it's quite difficult to see on a black car. But leave that for a few minutes, and then we'll jet wash all of that off, and then we'll start on the sandpapering. It's already looking so much better, but obviously the way it's been in the body shop, and this has been cut back and pretty much mirror shined and nice and smooth, and then you compare it to the door panel, there's still obviously a world of difference, which you can't probably see in the video, but you can sort of see it in this normal light. But right, sandpaper, let's do it. Okay, we have wet sanded it, and now kind of has to dry off because we need to DA polish it now. But you can see that we've cut back on the lacquer, giving this sort of milky, you get a milky residue from cutting it back. I used 2000 grit just because of the age of the car, and that one's not too good, but that door's a lot better. And then what I did was with the bonnet, I've done half the bonnet so we can see the difference when it's done compared to when it's not done. So that's been cut back. Then the side as well, because the contouring of this makes it a bit more difficult to sand it. But I'm not too concerned, to be fair, about those. It's more blending in with the back, so hence the doors are done as well. And then finally I've done the roof, just because all the stuff that was on it as well. Haven't done any of the rear end, simply because obviously that was all painted and done, so it's all about trying to revive the old paint, so to speak. Right, need to start setting up the polisher and get going on that. Right, so we're slowly cutting through this. I'm not going to bore you with the rest of it, so I'm just going to crack on and get this panel done and get everything else done as well, because this will take some time, but we'll slowly get there. Right, I don't know if you can see that, the difference between the two. Left side is done, right side is not. Bit more of a glaze on that one. So we're getting there. Only another, what feels like 5 hours to go or so. Right, the light is starting to fade, and God knows, good couple of hours now on this, and we're pretty much done. Unfortunately, because it's ever so slightly started to rain, it just means that when I go to wash or wipe the panels down from the compound with a bit of water, it sort of starts to streak a bit, so it's probably not as shiny as it could be. Haven't done the boot or the tailgate, and then this is this side. So pretty much sorted. The only thing I haven't done, and sort of I say I'd leave it, is this bonnet here, which on the left hand side is done and on the right it's not, but you can really tell the difference when you're rubbing your fingers on here. It's so smooth. Then just, can you listen to the difference? A massive difference. So I'm going to probably just finish off on the right, and then that'll be it for everything, and then it will just literally require a good old clean when it's literally ready to go up for sale at some point. So yeah, I think we're pretty much there. But it's a good little car, in black, so it's a bit rare as well. And just to remind you, if you haven't watched my other videos, this has got the lounge seats in them, and it's got the air conditioning as well. So it's basically a lounge minus the glass sunroof and the chrome trim on the rear. And then for insurance purposes, you're going to pay for a pop with kind of the lounge spec. Oh yeah, and it's got like all the Bluetooth and everything in it as well. So there we go. There we have it. I haven't done the wheels, by the way.
So that's it for the Fiat. Thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, and I'll be back with some more on this and the BMW later on, probably maybe just after Christmas, but we'll see. I've got a few projects which we're still working on. So yeah, till next time, see you later.